Jay Sri Radheshyam and welcome. The Life of Love, biography of Sri Srimad Radharaman Charan Das Dev, the veritable embodiment of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's universal religion of love, by Dr. 𝐿𝐿𝐸𝐿. Conversation of Ananda Mitra and other episodes. They came to rescue but were caught. Sri Radharaman Charan Das Dev ki Jai. Om Ayanjanati Mirandasyanjananjanan Salakaya Chaksuru Mitanjana Tashmai Shri Gurave Nam. One day at about 12 a.m. a young man came to Janjapita mat, made obeisance to Baba Mahasai Radharaman and sat down before him. Baba Mahasai asked, "What is your name?" Young man, "My name is Anatha Bandhu Das." Babaji, "Where do you live?" Anat, "Calcutta." Bhavanipura. Babaji, "Are you in service?" Anat, "No, I have passed BA, but I do not know what I am going to do. Just now my Gurudev, Sri Dinabandhu Kavyatirtha, has sent me here because his third brother has renounced the world and is living here with you. I have come to take him away. Are you the owner of this ashram?" Babaji, "You are an educated person. You should not say like this, because the jiva is only a servant, a tool in the hands of God. He cannot be the owner." Anath, "Why? Does he not have the freedom of will and the power to act?" Babaji, "He is an infinitesimal part of God. Whatever little power or freedom he seems to have is strictly controlled by him. It only appears that he is the master of himself and can do what he likes, but he is really entirely dependent upon him. He cannot, for instance, stop the teeth from growing when they begin to grow, or stop them from falling when they begin to fall. He cannot prolong his youth or old age at his will. He cannot do what he wants to do if God wills otherwise. He plans to do a certain things, but if death come, all his plans come to a naught." Anat, "Well, tell me one thing. It is not possible to do bhajan while living as a householder in the world?" Babaji, "Who say it is not possible?" Anat, "Then why have you renounced the world?" Babaji, "I have renounced because as a vairagi, I get name and fame and plenty to it without doing anything." Jai Radharaman. Oh, what intelligence. Anat felt somewhat humiliated. He said, "Well, leave aside yourself. Why have a number of persons in your ashram who are young like myself renounced? If they had not renounced, they could have rendered service to their parents and to society." Babaji, "The Lord's will is supreme. If the Lord wills a certain person to do something, he cannot do anything else. You have come here to make a man give up vairagya and go home with you. But if his vairagya is genuine, instead of going home with you, he can make you renounce home and go with him on his path." Anat, "I shall never go on his path. My Gurudev does not favor sannyas." Next morning, when Baba Mahasai went to Jagannath temple, Anat Bandhu accompanied him. In the temple, Baba Mahasai started kirtan. The song he sang in kirtan dealt with subjects like the purpose of human life, the excellence of the path of bhakti, vairagya, and the sadhu sangha. Each song made a deep impression upon Anand's pure heart. It seemed to penetrate it like an arrow and destroy his old samskars. He was transported into such ecstasy that he felt he could not leave the company of Baba Mahasai, even for a moment. When the kirtan was over, he felt at Baba Mahasai's feet and began to weep. Baba Mahasai lifted him and gave him a loving embrace. He said, "Baba, have mercy on me. I have realized my mistake. I will not go back to the world of Maya. Kindly give me shelter under your feet." Jai Baba Maharaj. Jai Radharaman. "Under your feet. I cannot leave your company. I regard your company itself as the highest end of my life." On his insistence, Baba Mahasai gave him the mantra of Gauranitai. Sometime later, he requested Baba Mahasai to give him a vairagya badge, sannyas. Babaji Bek. Baba Mahasai desisted in the beginning, but on his further insistence, he gave him Bek and the name of Atal Bihari Das. How strange! He had come to take a man who had renounced the world back into his world, but himself renounced the world and remained with him to serve the Guru and the Vaishnavas. Such was the miraculous effect of a moment's company of the great Babaji Mahasaya. Jay Radharaman, Jay Radharaman, Jay Radharaman Charan Das Dev ki Jai. One day, Baba Mahasaya asked Atal Das, "Have you informed Dinabandhu ji about your Vairagya batch?" Atal, "No." I Jai Radharaman, "No." Krishna, okay. I think it is best not to inform anyone. To inform is to invite trouble. Babaji, the Vairagya of a person who assumes Vairagya Bek secretly and is afraid of the difficulties that may arise if others come to know about it cannot last. You should inform others. You should inform your Guru of your Vairagya. Apologize to him and ask for his blessing that will give you strength. Atal Das grew to inform his Guru. Soon came his brother Haripadu Babu to take Atal Das and Dinabandhu's third brother back to Calcutta, but he was also imbued with Vairagya on meeting Baba Mahasaya and said to him, "Baba, I will not go back home. I would rather go on pilgrimage as a first step toward final renunciation." So he went on pilgrimage. Dinabandhu was mystified. He said to himself, "I wonder what happens to the man whom I sent to bring my brothers. He never returns. This time I will go myself to see what the mystery is." Jai Ho! Jai Ho! Jai Ho! Dinabandhu went to Puri. He met Babaji Mahasaya, Atal Das and his brother. He was so much impressed that instead of asking his brother and Atal Das to go back with him, he blessed them both and went back alone after staying in the mat for 4 or 5 days. Baba Mahasaya had so captured his heart that he always thought of him. If his mother blamed Baba Mahasaya for the Vairagya of her son, he at once retorted, "Ma, you don't know. If you ever see that Mahapurush, you will consider your son fortunate to have found shelter under his feet. I have traveled throughout the country, but I have never seen a saint like him. He has such immense Shakti that the moment a man sees him, he forgets everything of the world and craves to take shelter under his feet and never to leave his company. I do not know when I will see him again and be blessed by his darshan." Jai Radharaman, Jai Radharaman, Jai Radharaman, Mahavira, Jai Radharaman. Bhayonitai Gaura Radheshyam Japo Hare Krishna Hare Ram. Bhayonitai Gaura Radheshyam Japo Hare Krishna Hare Ram. Bhayonitai Gaura Radheshyam Japo Hare Krishna Hare Ram. Sakhya Bhav of Govinda Dada, Sri Radhe. Oh Krishna. Both Govinda Dada and Navadvip Dada had Sakhya, friendly Baba, toward Baba Mahasaya. This is born out by an interesting episode, which is as follows. According to the instructions of Baba Mahasaya, the daily routine of his companions in the Janjapita mat was Trisandhya Kirtan, Kirtan in the morning, noon and evening, sea bath, Jagannath Darshan and Kirtan before Jagannath. Madhukari Viksha for the mat was usually done by Madhu Dada, but sometimes Baba Mahasaya asked others as well to go for Bhiksha. On special occasion, Baba Mahasaya himself went out for Bhiksha as well. One day he called Navadvip Dada and Govinda Dada and said, "Both of you go for Bhiksha in the lanes and by lanes of the city, and on your return give everything you get in Bhiksha to me." So every day they went for Bhiksha, and on their return gave the bag containing Bhiksha to Baba Mahasaya. Baba Mahasaya bowed down to the bag and put it over his head as something most sacred and valuable before he gave it to Lalita Dasi for cooking. This continued for a number of days. One day, as Navadvip and Govinda returned from Bhiksha, chanting the name, Baba Mahasaya came out of his room and took the bag containing the Bhiksha from the hands of Govinda. As he did so, humorous Govinda Dada, animated by Sakhya Ras friendly sentiment, showered a volley of abuse upon him and went and sat down in the Pangatghar dining room. Parenthesis. This episode here, what happened is that the lines are not explaining clearly, so forgive me for explaining to go deeper in this lila. But what really happened is that Govinda Dada, he came back from Bhiksha, and when Babai Mahasai took the bag of Bhiksha from his hand, Govinda Dada started saying bad words to him, like very bad words, and putting so much on top of Babai Mahasai. So now we will see what happened, why he insulted properly with words to Babai Mahasai in that moment. And after this Govinda Dada went to sit in a corner. Very strange behavior. Everybody was surprised, but let's see what reads here. Everyone in the mat was surprised to hear this. Baba Mahasai remained listening quietly and amazedly with the bag held over his head. After some time, he went to the Pangat Ghar and said to Govinda Dada, "Govinda, have you gone mad?" Govinda, "Why? What had happened, Babaji? Why you deliver abuse while surrendering the Bhiksha?" Govinda, "The abuse were given to me by the people to whom I had gone for Bhiksha. You have enjoined that whatever I got in Bhiksha, I must deliver to you. I deliver to you rice, pulses and other things I got. How could I keep the abuse with me? If I did, it would have been difficult for me to digest them. They could have aroused in my mind the feeling of hatred and anger against the people who abused me. So I deliver them to you." Baba Mahasai expressed happiness at Govinda's attitude of intimate and loving friendliness, free from fear or hesitation. By smiling, I giving him a loving embrace. Jai Govinda Dada, Jai Baba Mahasai, Jai Navadvip Dadu, Jai Lalita Shaki Ma, Jai Ramdas Baba, Jai Jital Babu. How lucky they were. Offense against Harinam. One day when Navadvip Das and Govinda Dada were going for Bhiksha through a lane adjoining the royal palace, chanting Harinam as usual. Bhajani 𝐿 Radheshyam 𝐿𝐿𝐿 Hare Krishna Hare Ram. The guard on duty at the palace shouted, "Oh Baba, chanting Harinam in this area is prohibited. Go away from here." Navadvip Dada smiled and said, "Why, Baba? Does not the rule and order of Yama, the regent of death, prevail here? Harinam is effective against Yama." He said this and continued to chant. The guard vituperated and threatened to beat them. Still they continued chanting, caring little for his threat, and chanting came out of the lane. The Lord may tolerate an offense committed against him own self, but he cannot tolerate the offense committed against his name or his devotees. Soon after this episode, cholera broke out in Puri, and it affected most the area in all around the palace, so much so that the Maharaj himself fell prey to it. He called his guru Sripad Raghunath Dev Goswami and his minister Kali Babu and said, "I am laid up with cholera. Medicine have proved ineffective. I do not know what to do." Raghunath Deva Goswami said, "If medicine have failed, the only other remedy is Harinam. I have seen that on 2 or 3 occasions when an epidemic broke out in Puri, it disappeared as soon as Sri Radharaman Charan Das Dev went round the city performing Nama Kirtan with his companions. I believe that if he performed Kirtan in the palace, you will soon recover." Kali Babu said the same. The Maharaj asked them both to go and request Baba Mahasai on his behalf to kindly come and grace the palace by his presence and the Kirtan of the holy name. They went and conveyed his request to Baba Mahasai and insisted on his accompanying them to the palace with his companions immediately. Baba Mahasai complied, the party singing, "Bhajani 𝐿 Radheshyam 𝐿𝐿𝐿 Hare Krishna Hare Ram." The employees of the palace came out with two torches, and escorted them to the room where the Maharaj was lying. The Maharaj asked his attendants to help him go in the midst of the kirtan. His mother objected, but he did not listen. With the help of his 2 attendants, he went and bowed down to the kirtan party and then stood aside. Baba Mahasai and his party encircled him and began to move round him, singing and dancing. The Maharaj felt inspired and energized by the kirtan. He raised his arms and began to dance himself. Tears constantly flowed from his eyes and his face was radiant. It appeared that he had drunk deep of the nectar of the divine name and was in ecstasy. After some time, Baba Mahasai clasped the Maharaj in his arms and began to dance with him. The rest of his party and the employees of the palace all danced round them, singing and clapping their hands with the beat of khol and kartal, while Navadvip Das leaped and jumped, shouting aloud, Jai Nitai! Jai Nitai! The shouts of Haribol also rent the sky from time to time. The whole palace seemed to have gone into ecstasy. When Babaji Mahasai left the Maharaj, he was in tears and the Sadvika Babas appears all over his body. He said, I am blessed. My illness has proven a blessing in disguise. All that was evil in me is gone forever. He then asked one of his men to take the Sankirtan party in and around each room of the palace. He did the same. When the Sankirtan was over, the Maharaj rolled on the ground to purify his body with the dust of the feet of the Vaishnavas. He then requested Baba Mahasai to bless him, thus by performing kirtan at the palace every day. Baba Mahasai said, well, shall do as Nitai Chand wills. He returned to his ashrams at 11:30 p.m. dancing and singing with his companions. The Maharaj did not take any medicine thereafter, yet he was fully cured, no illness anymore. He sent his men every day to bring Baba Mahasai and his party to the palace for kirtan. The party continued the Sankirtan for 7 days, but Baba Mahasai accompanied it only for 2 more days. From that time onwards, the employees of the palace did not obstruct anyone from chanting the name. Baba Mahasai ki jai, Sri Radharaman Charan Das Dev Mahavira ki jai, Sri Mahavira Radharaman ki jai, Sri Mahavira Radharaman ki jai. Sharit Sudha ki jai, Life of Love ki jai, Sri Radharaman ki jai, Navadvip Dalu ki jai, Lalita Shakima ki jai, Ramdas Baba ki jai, Jital Baba ki jai. Jai Sri Radheshyam, Bhajo Nitai Gauranga Radheshyam, Japo Hare Krishna Hare Ram.
Krishna, Hare Ram, Bhajonitai Gaura Radheshyam, Radhe Japo Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Bhajonitai Gaura Radheshyam, Japo Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Ram. Bhajonitai Gauranga Radheshyam, Japo Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Bhajonitai Gauranga Radheshyam, Japo Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Bhajonitai Gaura 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 Radheshyam. Rama, Yapa Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Bhajanittai Gaura, Radheshyama, Yapa Hare Krishna.